cut hair.
Yeah.
Then he got caught up, listening to that voice and everything. And I always say it's like, you got a dream.
Right.
You got a dream to pursue your greatness, but then you got this other thing, and I always call it pursuing success. Yeah. And they're not necessarily one and the same. I know I'm getting deep here.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you could be successful in anything.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll end up in the wrong way.
Yeah.
But this guy was talking about something that was a gift.
Right.
And I really liked that.
Yeah.
And he went through it and went through it and went through it. Then he got into some other things and a tragedy happened, but he came back.
Right.
And that's what I enjoyed about what you did, because it was very interactive. It got the young people involved, and like you said, when it came to the education and everything, because I think a lot of times too, and this is what mentors are good at, like you said, with the athletics and pursuing all its success and being on television and everything, is having that plan B.
Yeah.
Because I can give you an example, something real quick. Well, I knew someone, for example, goes back to show you probably know this person. Well, they wanted to be in the NBA.
Right.
They wanted to be a professional, basketball player, right? They pursued that, right? They had some issues, educationally and everything, but it didn't stop them from pursuing their dream.
That's right.
That was the whole thing about it. But somewhere in it, they had a plan B, because they also like clothes, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, one thing led to another, and they end up working for an airline and things like that, still liking their clothes. The thing about it with that plan B was he continued to do the clothes and everything. Even though he didn't make the NBA and everything, didn't make basketball, but here's the thing, he's still in the NBA. And I'm telling you how he's in the NBA.
Yeah. He
makes clothes so well, he's so passionate about it. He's flying the airline. He was making clothes for some of the agents.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's making clothes for the agents.
Yeah,
you get where I'm going?
Yeah. We used to live in the same city.
Yeah. See, that's my point.
Yeah.
And you kind of did that with that event. And that's what a lot of young people need to understand. That's why I tell a lot of young people, you made a good point. I say, keep that dream.
That's right.
Because either way you look at it, keep that dream.
That's right.
You can still be in the NBA. It ain't all about being, you follow? Because if you're passionate about it, or the NFL, there's another gentleman right now he's an agent, and we know him.
That's right.
His last name Martin. Follow me? Played football and everything.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. But I just wanted to mention that, though, because when we talk about mentoring, that's basically what you have to do. You got to get into that mind, and at the end of the day, all you telling them, look, keep that dream.
Yeah, and can I take a second to talk about?
Yeah, go ahead.
When we're talking about sports, our young people always look at the avenue of playing sports when it comes to making money.
Right.
But let me tell you this. When I was on my honeymoon, I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay.
And in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, they have a place they call the Little Venus of the United States.
Right.
And they have a tour what they call Go Down Millionaires Row.
Right.
Now, I'm shortening the story, but we took the tour down Millionaires Row, which would mean we was in a boat going down the channel, going out to the ocean, and on both sides of the channel were houses.
Okay.
It was no house in there under $10 million.
Wow.
Now, when we got to, here we go, the sports piece. When we got to David Stern's house, David Stern, NBA commissioner.
Okay, wow.
His house was $32 million. $32 million now. He's not the basketball player. He's the commissioner.
I got you.
So I tell young people, you don't always have to be the basketball player or the football player. You can stay into sports by looking at executive positions, looking at some auxiliary positions, looking at some other things. There's a lot of opportunities. But this is key. It's more opportunities in executive and management than it is in the playing positions.
There you go.
There's only 11 positions on the NBA team. Is that correct, right?
There you go. You're right.
But it's more than probably 100 people that work for that NBA franchise.
There you go.
So you can go another route and staying with that. So I'm glad you brought that point out. It's not negative about sports.
Right.
Having a plan B.
That's it.
But there's other areas. If you have a love for industry or area, you can do some things in that.
There you go. There you go. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into the second half. You can go on, and I'm really enjoying this conversation. We got only a few minutes because I want to get into the motivational speaking part. We're going to talk a little bit about the motivational speaker and the organization that you're working with right now. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, and in this break, we're going to talk a little bit about some tips on, it's the springtime analogy and some other things. So we're going to be back coming into the second half of Hip Living, healthy, inspiring, positive living.
Well, hey everybody, look, it's springtime again, and as to be expected, it's that time of the year you want to get outside, exercise, working out, been inside all winter, and now in springtime you want to get out there and do that walk or you maybe just want to go out and do some yard work. Well, it's also allergy season, seasonal allergy season. And you know what? I'm like many of you out there. This time of the year, on one hand, I look forward to being outside, enjoying the outdoors, doing some running and doing some yard work. But on the other hand, as we get further into the springtime, it's the pollen, it's the sneezing, the coughing, the hackiness, and all that other nasty stuff. But I can tell you, over the few years, I've actually gotten better. And as you can see on the table, I'm going to point out to you, these are the reasons why. I don't rely on medicines like talking about. In fact, very rarely do I take any type of prescription or over-the-counter drugs for my allergies. And this is the reason why. And I'm going to point out to you how these particular items can work to help offset the symptoms of your seasonal allergies. Start out first with making sure you stay hydrated and drink plenty of water. Religiously, I live by this: purified water, spring water, filter your own water. Enough said with that. But let's get right to it when it comes to what you can do medicinally and naturally to help offset the symptoms and basically minimize the effects of your seasonal allergies. Let's start out with this item first. Now, this is a form of a nasal rinse. I'm putting it up in front of the camera. I hope you can see that. And what is referred to as a neti pot. Now, I actually came across this about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Someone posted this on my Facebook page, and I looked it up on YouTube. And basically, what this is a nasal rinse. And what it does, what you do is you use distilled water, you use some spring water, along with there's a saline solution inside of here if I can reach it. But you can purchase this at Walmart, and the items are in there. There's a saline solution. You use distilled water, lukewarm, not hot, but lukewarm distilled water. You use this first thing in the morning. It's a nasal rinse. It rinses your nasal passages out to get some of that phlegm and mucus out. And it definitely works, and it's very effective. You can use this based on instructions 1, 2, or maybe 3 times a day. Okay? So there's other forms of nasal rinse on here as well. Okay, so the neti pot, that's the first thing. Now let's go to the next item. One of my favorite herbs, echinacea. Now echinacea is basically good for the immune system, period. But particularly when it comes to allergies, colds, during cold season I like to use it. Throughout the year, to tell the truth, I like to use this because it's good for the immune system, but it's also very effective when it comes to offsetting the symptoms of your allergy. Now, this is the pill form, but you can also take it in the tea form. So as you can see, and you can purchase these items at some of your convenience stores, Walmart, or you can go to your grocery stores and they have them. Also, in addition to that, because I know sometimes one of the side effects of your allergies is also you have a sore and a scratchy throat. And this is where this comes in. Also natural throat coating, and it has a special elm plant and bark in it. And what I like about this right here is when you let this saturate in the boiling water for a period of time, it has a very nice, natural, sweet taste to it. Throat coat. And you can purchase this also. You can get this from either a health food store, and they also have these in some of the major grocery stores as well. So, hey, simply put, those are 3 items. And I want to highly recommend also, when you purchase these items, make sure you read the ingredients. I don't just like to tell somebody to purchase something and they don't read the ingredients, because you have some off-the-wall brands, even though it says echinacea. Don't go for the cheap. I know you want to be reasonable when it comes to your money, but best bet, in my opinion, is to go to the health food store where you can get some expert advice when it comes to taking herbs. So with that being said, that is your hip tip. Hey, take care. Have a beautiful spring. Until then, see you later.
All right, we're back, and that's the hip tip for the week, talking about allergies this springtime. You having issues with your allergies or anything?
Thank God I don't.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about that. That don't apply to you then. Yeah, but this is Hip Living, and the program is mostly usually about healthy, inspiring, positive living, health and wellness. This particular program, we're dealing with more of the mind, the inspirational and positive part. And I have a guest here today. He's Mr. Dwayne Bennett. And the first half of the program, we were more or less talking about mentorship. And we're going to wind that down a little bit because I also want to mention 2 books you have.
Okay.
You have 2 books. The one book is called The 7 Winning Ways to College Success.
Right.
And talk a little bit about that book real briefly and what this book is all about.
The 7 Winning Ways to College Success is a book I wrote for high school students and college students so they can have a straight path on their educational success. And I broke it down into 7 steps that any young person that reads this book, as they go through the 7 steps and they answer the questions at the end of the chapters, they have their own individual path to success, so they can stay in school, so they can plan for their own success, so they can graduate on time. And that was the emphasis of me writing the 7 Winning Ways to College Success from high school to college graduate.
Okay, yeah, because, going to college can be kind of a challenge, like you said, financially, that's the big one.
Right.
But also trying to make up your mind, what direction you want to go as far as, going to college and everything. So it's good to have a book like this.
Yes.
That, a young person can get and they can read this book, like you said, 7 Ways Success, Winning Ways to College Success. That's great. Mm-hmm. Then you have another book, From Worry to Winning. Now, what's this book all about?
From Worry to Winning, this is a book is for our adults. And sometimes as adults we're in our careers and our personal life, we get stuck. And when we get stuck, we're not exactly sure what's the next step, or how can we move, or how can we advance in our careers, or how can we do certain things. So I wrote this book, again, to have a certain pathway that if you walk these 7 steps out in your life, then that'll get you from where you are to where you want to be. So it's called From Worry to Winning, because a lot of times when we're not sure as to where we want to go or what we want to do, we get worried.
Okay.
So I'm going to take you from being worried, alleviate the worry, and move you to winning, so we can all be winners in our life.
Okay, which brings me to this one. We get ready to wind down. We want to jump right into it because
Okay.
what you've been doing some motivating. Okay?
Right.
So we're going to talk about the motivating part because we all need some motivation. We need some
Right.
inspiration. We need somebody. I don't care how old or how young you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, older people. Mentorship is not just for young people.
That's right. Exactly.
We all need a mentor. We all need a peer mentor. We all need somebody to motivate us.
Right.
Okay. So, which takes me segue to the motivational speaking part. Now, let's talk about the organization who you're working with right now when it comes to motivational speaking, which you do.
Okay. I have my own company, as I said earlier. It's Yes to Success, and I have one division, is Youth Division. We've been talking about that, and now we're ready to talk about the corporate division, or our training division, called Yes to Success Training and Consulting Solutions. And what we do with that company is there's a big gap in the world. There's a gap between knowing and doing. There's a gap between potential and success, and there's a gap from where you are to where you want to be. Our company comes in, specifically me, and help you find your way from, again, potential to success, from where you are to where you need to be, or perhaps help you fill that gap from knowing to doing. So we do that through coaching, we do that through training, and we do that through speaking.
Okay, through the speaking part. I want to talk a little bit about the speaking part.
Okay.
Okay. How does that work as far as getting people? I mean, do you coach people as far as speaking is concerned and everything? And what are the type of people that you professional people of all walks of life? What are usually the characteristics of the people that you coach?
Everyone.
Okay, I got you.
This is the key, and the reason why I love this show, and the reason why I'm a part of this show today is you approach it from the 3 aspects.
Okay.
Mind, body, and spirit.
There you go.
Okay. So the body part, of course, looking at us too, you got the body part.
Right.
Yeah. And the spirit, people have to deal with their spirit in a way that works for them.
Right.
But in terms of the mind, then the mind is where I come in and help people to kind of move from where they are to where they need to be.
Okay.
And we do these in 3 ways. You mentioned coaching. Coaching, sometimes people use the terminology coaching and mentoring synonymously.
Okay.
But they're really 2 different things.
Okay.
When you look at mentoring, a person is teaching you or training them from their experience. I've been here, this is how you get here.
Okay.
But from coaching is, my belief is, the answer is are always inside the person to help them to move, to help them to progress, to help them to be inspired. And I work with people that bring that out of them so they can find their own path. So the difference between the coaching and the mentoring is the mentoring, I'm telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that to get here. But from the coaching, we're trying to get to a higher level, a bigger image of yourself. And I believe you have those answers within you. And I help you bring those out, and I help you work out a path for that.
Right. So what you're really doing also is you're cultivating and developing leaders as well.